Wij hebben de schatkaart gevonden. En ons voorgenomen... Oh, hé. Hier ligt
Was ook toch?
Ja. En ons voorgenomen om naar het vuurtorenhuis te gaan. Ik wou eerst zeggen het lighthouse.
Ik dacht de verspreking ontstaan voordat hij uit de mond kwam.
Want ik heb genoteerd wat we moeten
Okay,
doen.
let's try.
47 en 78 E. Kijk, het is wat ik al vermoedde. Deze toch?
Bingo.
Yeah.
This is the point marked on the map. Let's see in
Kijk,
what
want
direction the
het
lighthouse
is
is
dus
pointing.
niet inderdaad een
Good.
opvallend puntje op de map. Het is echt een random point. Hij beweegt.
Ja. Oh,
Ja,
natuurlijk.
wij zeiden in de vorige
Very
video,
well. The lighthouse
waarom
is according
kunnen
to
we
the
daarin?
instructions on the map.
Ja.
The light points in the direction of the cemetery. Better go check.
Het kerkhof. De crypte. En nu?
I don't think the X meant to indicate these wooden boards. It'd be better to
Dat
remove
denk
them.
ik ook.
Oh,
Er is een schedel.
Once there was a legend. To access the afterlife, a boat toll was
Dat
required.
klopt.
ik las troll.
Dat is ook bij de oude Romeinen, hè, dat je een munt op de ogen moest leggen om de ferryman te betalen. Om de
Maybe
river
this
Styx
coin
over te
wasn't
steken.
used as currency in the earthly world,
Ferryman,
but rather to
journey
pay the
to the
ferryman
afterlife.
for a
Yeah.
journey to the afterlife. Let's try.
Dit is niet wat ik verwacht.
Ik ook niet. Ik dacht dat ding gaat praten of zo.
Ja.
Hoi, joh. Kijk, gewoon niet-
Where did I end up?
We zijn in een grot.
It seems like a natural cave.
Een raar water. Secret is-
Dit is allemaal niet aan te klikken.
I can't believe it. This is a colony of Mexican psilocybe, one of the most powerful hallucinogenic mushrooms in the world.
dat
Professor
wist ik.
Jones showed one of these in class
Eh?
when explaining
Ja.
Dat wist
Aztec
ik niet.
rituals.
Gebruiken
Their
mensen
sour
ook
odor
niet.
is unmistakable, and the
Okay.
conditions for growth seem to be ideal. Humid and lacking sun. Only a strong adrenaline rush can counteract their effect. They're supposed to proliferate only in a few areas in Central America. How did they end up here? I'm also wondering who put these wood barrels here.
Ik denk, kunnen we er een meenemen?
I'd rather not touch them. This species of mushroom is extremely dangerous.
Okay.
The Mexican psilocybe, even if taken in small doses, causes addiction and induces hallucinations and
In
trance states.
Monkey Island 1 kom je ook in een grot. En daar heb je aan het
I
begin
don't want to
ook
dive over
paddenstoelen.
there. I can't even see the bottom.
Oké. Er is licht.
Why,
It can't
joh.
Een piratenschip.
The hull outline, the colors on the bulkheads, a red nightmare sailed on the sea. Its slender shape induced all to stop and admire it. The historian Jean de Leon described the adventure galley this way. This is it. The adventure galley. Kid's ship.
Ah. Stepladder. Ik ben benieuwd.
Ja.
Who dares?
Iemand praat.
But, who said that?
Who dares board my ship without permission?
Who's talking? Are you a ghost? Show yourself.
How dare you give orders to me? Only I can give orders.
Dat is een man. Dus niet een geest.
It can't be. I can't believe this.
Het is.
My God. Dad?
Yeah.
Dad? Is that really
Yeah.
you?
I have no sons. I'm the adventure galley's captain. My name is only whispered in both the old and new worlds. Some people call me the scourge.
Hij
of the
hallucineert door die
seas.
paddenstoelen.
I'm William Kidd. Who are you?
Ja.
Don't you recognize me? It's me, Willy.
What tone is this? Boy, remember who you're talking to. I'm Kidd.
What
Hij
happened
zei
to
dus
you?
net
You're not Kid.
dat het,
You're
het
Henry.
enige
Henry
middel
Morgan.
tegen die paddenstoelen was een adrenaline rush.
Ja.
Morgan and Blackbeard are the reason my crew and I are here. If it wasn't for their betrayal, right now we'd be the masters of Tortuga. Instead, Morgan and Blackbeard mutinied, hired their own crew and attacked us. But nobody can take possession of William Kidd's treasure. Remember well these two names, because they're the worst enemies of Kidd's crew. Morgan and Blackbeard. What I wouldn't give to meet you face to face. And now, speak plainly. For what reason are you here?
I sell cookware, mattresses and bikes.
Yeah.
I sell cookware, mattresses, and bikes.
The quartermaster already stowed our supplies. We don't need anything else.
Oké, nieuw deckhand. Wij willen aan
Dad,
boord.
Captain, I'm the new deckhand you were waiting for.
It's about time. You have permission to board and immediately get to work. The bridge needs a clean sweep. Ask the quartermaster to give you everything you need to make the ship shine. I'm going back to my cabin now. I have to plot the route for our next destination. Tortuga is waiting for us.
Het is bijzonder.
Ja, die man is een beetje in de...
What's happening here? How could Dad still be alive? Why doesn't he recognize me? I better get on the galley right now. I have to get my dad back home. The ship is completely deserted.
Yeah.
I guess Dad, or Kid as he now considers himself, is in his cabin to the stern of the ship.
Daarboven.
Ja.
Kunnen we daarin? Nee, kleding.
Some well-preserved
Een
clothes.
voodoo-poppetje van Guybrush Threepwood. Monkey Island 2.
It looks like a voodoo doll. Some prankster guest of Kid must have left it here after his stay. Better not touch it. I wouldn't want its curse to remain active on some descendant of the represented person. It doesn't strike me as the best time to start reading treatises on 17th century fashion.
Oké. Tricorn.
An old three-cornered hat. I think it belonged to some captain. Or someone from the upper class, anyway.
Wij moeten ons gaan verkleden zometeen als piraat, denk ik. Want dit zal wel bij elkaar horen.
I'd only risk ruining it this way.
Even kijken, is hier verder nog iets? Dat lijkt er niet op. Een crack.
Ah, we kunnen er even kijken. Ah.
We kunnen iets in zijn drinken gooien. Een adrenaline rush heeft hij nodig.
Ja. Oh ja, waar halen we dat vandaan?
Boek.
I can't take them. Dad is seated at the captain's desk. There's a strange smell coming from the cabin.
Ja, die paddo's. Oké. Good to know. Hij zit dus daaronder.
Ja.
Even kijken, wat is hier beneden? Een mannequin. Een kanon. Nog een mannequin, rum.
According to a chronicle of the period, these wooden mannequins were used to make the crew size appear larger. The fear factor and the number of armed men visible was usually enough to win a battle without even fighting.
Dat klopt.
Somebody
Dat is
carved
ook
the
het
name
hele
they gave to
principe
this
van de
mannequin in the
vikingen.
wood. Jimbo.
Die hadden die hoornhelmen om mensen te intimideren. Kijk, we doen Jimbo de Pirate
I'd
de
only
hoed
risk
op.
ruining it this way.
Ah,
Nee,
jammer.
we doen hem kleren aan.
I have to find a better use for them.
Nee. Gaan we nog bedenken. Opening.
It would be better to use the stairs.
Oké, kanon.
Better not. The ship is docked on this side. There's a risk that the shot could ricochet and cause damage.
Wat hebben we?
Een grap.
Ja, we kunnen verder naar beneden. Goed gezien. Dat is een zwaard, altijd goed.
This old sword could come in handy. Maybe I can learn how to handle it. If I'm not mistaken, near my house they just opened a school.
The Swordmaster.
Swordmaster.
Carla.
That should guarantee success. Yuck. The hilt is all sticky. Time must have corroded the handle's material.
Sticky. Opening. Cannon.
This cannon is ready to shoot. I should have a valid reason to do that.
Komt vast al wel.
Ja, hier match.
I should have a very valid reason to do something like that. It's one of the, you can tell every notch, 8
Dat is
knot,
niet
I
wat ik
guess.
wilde doen. Wat is dit voor deur?
It's locked. If, as I suppose, this is the door to the hold, they have surely reinforced it. I obviously need the key to enter. I could ask the captain if he knows where I can find it.
Dat is een goede vraag.
Ja. Ik denk niet dat hij daarop zit te wachten.
Nee, maar goed, we moeten toch wat.
What's happening now? I hope it's something important.
Kijk.
I'll need the key to access the hold.
You still aren't an official member of the crew. You must
Okay.
earn this honor. Every new member must get to know the ship and gain the trust of the rest of the crew.
I think I already saw everything and talked with everyone.
Let's see if this is true of you. Answer these 3 simple questions. First, Name at least one member of the crew, except the captain, that you met on board.
Jimbo.
Ja.
Die mannequin.
Jimbo.
Second question. According to which code have the rules of life on board been drafted?
Dat weet ik niet.
Dat moeten we dus nog zoeken.
Surely the Atlantic Codex by Leonardo.
Third and last question. How many battles have we faced
Die
until
notches
today?
op het kanon. Dat hebben we gezien, maar ik heb dat
I'm
doorgeklikt.
sorry. The answer.
Sorry, Captain. I'll...
Good.
En dat stond op die kanonnen. Jimbo was goed. Kijk, kanon.
It's one of the oldest cannons on the ship. It has probably never been replaced. You can tell by the notches engraved on it. Every notch shows a battle
Okay.
in which it was shot. 8 notches, so 8 battles.
8 battles.
An interesting tidbit of information. I guess it's still armed and ready to fire.
En wat zochten we nog meer?
Die hadden we wel goed.
Nee, die tweede niet.
Jawel. We gingen verder naar de derde vaart.
Ja, misschien doet hij dat sowieso.
Oh.
Volgens welke dingen waren de regels?
Ik denk dat we een boek of zo ergens moeten vinden.
Ja, staat iets op die... Oh, hier hè. Steve Bonner's diary. Staat hier iets in? Nee hè?
Dat lijkt me niet.
Nee. Of die
Quotes
kleding.
from the end of the 600. Their fabric is very good. They were probably used only for the important guests of the ship, not for the crew. A 3-cornered hat. Usually they were worn by people of a certain rank. An old sword. The hilt is sticky. Over time, the fibers from which it was composed must have deteriorated.
Oké, dus dat is het enige wat we er niet hebben. Maar dat kunnen we misschien zien als we naar beneden kijken. Of deze boeken bekijken.
These are books on dressmaking in the 1600s. Evidently, Kid cared about being up to date on the evolution of European costumes. Or some guest left them during his holiday on the adventure Galley.
Titels?
It doesn't strike me as
Nee.
the best time to start reading treatises on 17th century fashion.
Oké.
I can't take it.
Ja, kijk.
Don Quixote de la Mancha. It's one of the first editions.
Don Quixote.
Life on the Seas, Rules and Tasks on Board a Ship by William Kidd. It seems Kidd was writing a treatise. Interesting.
Is dat dan
They
zijn
look
eigen...
like nautical charts. Probably routes of
is
the
dat het?
adventure Galley.
Weet ik niet.
William Kidd was writing a treatise. Kijken of we dat kunnen selecteren. Don Quixote en Sancho Panza. Die reden op ezels.
What's happening now? I hope it's something important.
I'll need the...
You still every new.
I think I...
Let's see it
Dat hebben we
first.
gehad. Jimbo hebben we gezien.
Jimbo.
Second question. According to which code have the rules of life on board been drafted?
We hebben niks nieuws. Jawel, hier, deze. Live on the Seas. Die hebben we net gezien.
Life on the Seas by Kidd.
Third and last question. How many battles have we faced until today?
8.
Well done. You have the
Okay.
honor of becoming one of Kidd's pirates. Among us, there's a pact of mutual friendship and loyalty. You deserve the key to access the hold.
Lekker hoor. Mooie sleutel.
Ja.
Thanks, Captain. I'm honored to be part of your crew. Someone stole the last barrel of grog.
What? This is really serious. But the quartermaster can take care of it. Anyway, no less than 100 lashes with the cat o' nine tails for the guilty party.
Cat o' nine
Stealing
tails.
the grog, the nerve. Anything else?
Gewoon alles melden.
There are rats inside the magazine.
That's the reason you've been brought on, deckhand. Try to earn your daily rations. Anything else?
Captain, can you tell me your story?
Is this the reason you embarked?
I hoped to understand how you ended up here, Dad.
I have no time to get angry now. Go back to your duties. You can hear my story
Okay.
from the other members of the crew.
Oké.
Sorry, Captain.
Maar we
I'll
kunnen wel
leave
naar
you
de
to your business.
hold.
Good. Go back to your duties, deckhand.
Deckhand. Wij gaan naar de hold. Met Key.
Perfect.
En wat vinden we
Wow!
daar?
The legends were
De
true.
schat.
This is the result of years of piracy in all the seas of the world. It's a mask. It doesn't seem to come from the Americas. I think it's the loot plundered from
Yeah.
the assault on some ship coming from Europe.
Neem we gewoon mee.
Tuurlijk.
Een steelboef.
They will surely be full of doubloons or jewels, but now I have other priorities.
Oh ja, we hebben andere
The
prioriteiten.
temptation to examine or take some of those coins is strong, but Dad takes precedence over everything. First, I have to take care of him, and then together we'll study the galley and its treasure.
Seks. Treasure. Barrel.
De deur is ook op een bijzondere wijze open.
Ja.
It won't be useful like this.
Maar wat... Moet ik iets op mezelf
It's a
zetten?
golden mask. It's of European origin, probably the loot from some raid. It's a wooden mannequin. There's an inscription. Jimbo. They used it, together with other mannequins, to make the crew size.
Ja, dat had hij gezegd.
I'd only risk.
Want hoe gaan we nu vader overtuigen dat we hier moeten zijn?
It surely contained some spices. They were very precious goods. I don't need it now.
Hoe gaan we vader overtuigen? We kunnen hem ook niet een item geven, hè?
Nee. Nou ja, dat kan vast maar.
We kunnen iets door die crack gooien.
Ja, maar wat?
Misschien.
I need this to frame Steve.
Oh ja,
It's not helpful to me like this.
dat kunnen we in het gat doen.
It has lots of use. Some boards became ruined over time. It should be the.
Ik kan hier dad aanklikken.
It won't be useful like this.
Nee.
I think they can be used in a more useful way.
We konden dat kanon ook nog afschieten.
Ja.
Misschien kunnen we, nu we dit masker hebben gevonden, iets nieuws zeggen. Zijn er nog meer locaties? Blijkt er niet op, hè? Ja, ik kan nog het schip aflopen. Waarom zou ik dat willen?
Om iets te halen tegen mushroom.
Ja.
Maar ja, we kunnen denk ik niet terug.
It's not helpful to me like this.
Ik denk ook niet dat we terug kunnen.
I don't think
Nee, dit ding wil je niet meenemen.
it's a colony. They're extra.
Nee, hier gaat hij zeggen, we kunnen daar niet heen.
I don't want to go.
Ja.
Nee. Nee, we kunnen nog iets met een natural well misschien.
Zoals.
Weet ik niet.
It's a natural well formed by the running water. It must be very deep. The water comes from some source upstream. It's fresh water.
Kijk, het is vers water. Kan ik dat in een
I'd only
hoed
risk
opvangen?
ruining it this way.
Ja, leg maar uit.
I think they can be.
Toen was je ter wereld met een hoed vol met water.
Ah, wie weet. Je weet maar nooit.
Klopt, we hebben wel gekkere dingen.
It's an amazing ship. I wonder how many secret.
Hier hebben we ook die kanonnen nog.
It's a cannon from the 17th century. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't use it. It hasn't got a wick.
Oké. Dus dan hebben we alleen het kanon beneden,
I
wat
don't want to shoot a cannon.
afschietbaar is. Ja, dat hebben we ook allemaal aangeklikt, hè. Deze was afschietbaar.
Why on earth should I leave through this hole? When it was opened, the cannon could shoot.
Ja, dat snap ik. Want ik
I should have a very.
kan dat ding afschieten. Misschien moeten wij de kapitein ervan overtuigen dat we in een gevecht zijn.
I'm not interested in taking these coffee beans. I'm already wide awake, especially
beans.
after finding my dad.
Maar inderdaad.
Een
wij
adrenaline
misschien
rush.
iets tegen hem zeggen.
I don't think that would work. It's not helpful to me.
Ik kan die koffiebonen niet meenemen. We hebben nog niet geprobeerd of we iets nieuws kunnen zeggen. Ik denk ook, we hebben al die fancy kleren.
What's
en
happening
Misschien
now?
moeten we
I
ons
hope it's something
verkleden.
important.
Of Jimbo neerzetten ergens. Nee.
Sorry, kid.
Good.
Ja, het is gek dat je daar helemaal niks mee kan.
That is not. Not here. A real sea dog would have never sat on one of the cannons turned to port. They were extremely superstitious. They thought that turning their back to the mainland was a sign of contempt,
Yeah.
that they would have been punished by the sea.
Ja.
It's useless here.
Ah,
Maakt niet uit, maakt niet uit. Proberen ze allemaal.
There wouldn't be much sense in having it guard a cannon below deck. The
Oh.
purpose of these mannequins was to
Wij
swell
gaan letterlijk naar het
ja,
laatste kanon.
Ja, dat zijn.
This old mannequin was used to deceive the enemy. The more mannequins there were, the larger and more dangerous the crew seemed. I could use it to distract my dad and enter his cabin.
Ja.
If I could disguise it as a pirate,
Ja,
I
en al
could
die
make it pass
kleren
for
voor.
one of Kid's most bitter enemies. If I'm not mistaken, he named Morgan and Blackbeard earlier. I really see it as a Morgan.
Kijk hoe
Zie
die
hem
zit.
zitten.
A classy touch. The hat makes it look more important.
Sowieso.
They seem the right size. I don't think there was much variety of measurements on a pirate ship. It's starting to look like a member of the crew. This gives it an aura of mystery. Let's try to make it meaner.
Meaner.
Discreetly threatening.
Nou, dan zijn we er wel, toch? Ja.
Help ons, er is een piraat.
What's happening now? I hope it's something important.
Captain, there's Morgan on the bridge.
Morgan. Damn scoundrel. We finally came back for the final showdown. It's really you, foul traitor. What nerve you dare show. By returning to the ship you turned your back on after it welcomed you as a child. Prepare yourself to face my wrath.
While Dad is busy, I can access the captain's cabin.
Goed gevecht.
A day of...
Nautical charge. Chalice.
Dad has placed the logbook to protect the chalice's contents. Since I'm here, I better take them both.
Gaan we koffiebonen in doen.
The same acrid smell of the mushrooms I saw in the cave emanates from the chalice. This could explain many things. Dad managed to survive all these years on a mixture of water and mushrooms. Even in small quantities, they sustain any organism that feeds on them and provide vital energy. On the other hand, they're also a powerful hallucinogen. Dad's state of shock following his fall from the cliffs, combined with the sight of Kid's ship, made him believe that he was the captain. If he keeps drinking from this chalice, he might never wake up. I have to get rid of this chalice. Professor Jones taught us that a strong adrenaline rush will counteract the mushroom's effect. First the chalice and then the adrenaline. One thing at a time.
Wat hebben we hier nog meer? Nautical
These are the
charge.
nautical charts of the Galley. They will be worth a fortune. With these, it would be possible to retrace the ship's routes and identify the places it visited. I can't deal with this right now. It's more urgent that I find a way to get out of here with Dad. It's the
Draak?
statue of a dragon. It was also Kid's nickname. Other than Scourge of the Seas, he was known as the Sea Dragon for the firepower of his cannons. Better leave it where it is. I don't need it to get Dad out of here.
Hier nog hier de bibliotheek. Oh, meer is hier ook niet. Oké. Hey,
It's
een man.
time to end the game. Don't show your face again,
Wie is deze man?
Morgan.
Ik geen idee.
Look who's back. Henry and his kid.
Dit is
the
de
young
burgemeester.
Morgan.
Oh ja.
How did you manage to get here, Steve?
It wasn't difficult. I was looking for you all over town, and suddenly, a stroke of luck, I saw you entering the crypt in the graveyard. I waited for you a long time. Eventually, I decided to enter and I saw the tunnel. Henry, I didn't think you were still alive. I am partly relieved. My regret was consuming me. In the end, you were right. Kid's ship was docked here in Bone Town.
Ja.
How dare you come aboard my ship without permission and offend a member of my crew? Who are you?
Henry, don't you recognize me? It's me.
Dad! Captain! It's Blackbeard. He was also able to get on board.
Blackbeard. Yes, I recognize you now. I see that you and Morgan are still inseparable. You'll end up just like him.
Henry, not again.
You leave me no choice.
I understand, Henry. I'm ready.
Let's see what you can do.
On guard!
Dan kunnen wij naar beneden. Gaan we koffie halen. Dat moet in de mok.
I have to get rid of it so that the mushrooms won't proliferate inside.
Get rid of it. Oh, dat gaan we gewoon in die abyss gooien dan. Of niet?
Oh ja.
On guard.
Whatever you want.
Is dat het idee? Hup. Oh.
Het is duidelijk.
That's not a good idea.
Oh.
It could resurface in the vicinity of the ship. I have to find a way to get rid of it permanently.
Get rid of it permanently.
Kunnen we het opladen?
Oh, we gaan met dat kanon wegschieten. Kijk, de gedachtegangen van ons. Die worden hier
Let's see what you can do.
Die worden hier wat
gebruikt.
gebruikt.
It should work. It's not a cannonball, so it won't have such a devastating effect. And now the coup de grace. Fire!
Ernaast blijven staan ook.
Lekker hoor.
I did it! Heck, I didn't see that coming. The racket from the cannon was more devastating than the shell itself. Better go back on deck and alert Dad.
Hoeveel koffiebonen? Maar waarin dan?
You don't stand a chance this time.
We'll see.
Lekker hoor.
Goeie fight.
I admit it. You defeated me.
Valt iets uit de
A
lucht.
victory over a man who was once a friend has no value for me.
Captain, I'm sorry to interrupt your duel, but I think we need to go. The cave is collapsing.
Captain, what are you talking about?
The adrenaline caused by the duels with Jimbo and Steve is reducing the effect of the mushrooms.
Oh,
Hurry,
yeah.
let's go. There's not much time.
Not before seeing the treasure. I've never been so close to it, and I have no intention of leaving now.
Ja.
But Steve, not now. There will be other opportunities in the future.
Yes, Steve. The kid's right. Let's run while we still can.
Door de
Henry,
adrenaline van het
do you
vechten
recognize
is hij weer
me?
zichzelf
Steve,
geworden.
is that you? Oh, I'm not sure what's happening. It feels like I just woke up from a long dream.
There's no time, Dad. Let's go.
Dad? How come? Who?
You go. I want Kid's treasure. It represents my whole life's work. Henry, just know that I didn't want any of this to happen.
Steve!
Farewell.
Dad, let's go.
Okay, I'll follow.
En nu gaat die grot instorten met hem erin.
Dat denk ik. Dat is wat hij wil. Hij wil naar de schat. Hij wil flexen. Dingen.
En hoe gaan wij die tunnel weer op dan?
Dat weet ik ook niet. A few hours later.
Ja?
Dad, I finally found you.
Willy, is that really you? How long has it been?
10 years, Dad. 10 very long years.
10 years. So this means you received my letter.
Yes, but why did you only have it delivered after all this time?
I sensed that something was wrong with Steve. I could see it in his behavior. When I realized that the search for Kid's treasure was becoming an obsession, I started to suspect that he could hurt our family. I hid my piece of the map and decided to deal with it. You are a Morgan. You have the spirit of adventure in your blood. But you were only 5, and I didn't want to trouble Mom with such a burden. I hoped that in 10 years Steve's obsession would vanish. I decided that if anything ever happened to me, you, after turning the necessary age, would be ready to pick up from where I left off. So I sent the post-dated letter.
I read Steve's diary. I know you fell off the cliff. How did you survive?
A stroke of luck. I fell right into the sea, and the tide pushed me toward an underwater passage that led directly to the cave. I wanted to find a way to get back to the surface, but I had to recover my strength first. The last thing I remember is some really delightful mushrooms. Then it's all a blank.
Dad, let's go back home. We have a lot of things to talk about. Plus, we have to find a way to tell Mom without making her faint.
Elizabeth. Yes, we should go back.
Ready to leave Bonetown once and for all?
Bonetown is not a bad town. As soon as the legal formalities are arranged, we could think about coming back here. Remember, deep inside the cave is still the adventure Galley. Who knows how much it can still tell the world about the golden age of piracy.
Speaking of which, when I took the chalice, I also brought the ship's logbook with me. Here it is.
Hispaniola.
Lekker hoor.
Wij worden gesequelband.
Sowieso. En hoe?
En hoe? The end.
Ja. For now.
Het einde. Is toch mooi hè, dat we dan ja. Door een half uurtje weer klaar. We hebben niet heel veel video's opgenomen.
Nee.
Het was een relatief klein
Het was
game.
wel overzichtelijk.
Ja. Nou ja, er waren wel stukken waar we langer over gedaan hadden kunnen hebben.
Ja, we kwamen in die stad. Toen dacht ik wel, toen we de opties zagen van waar we allemaal heen konden.
Ja. Maar we zijn er doorheen. Dit oogt Italiaans.
Ja.
Ja.
Besje.
Dat betekent vis. Ja.
Ja.
Ja, oliva betekent olijf.
Goed, bedankt.
Ja. String Onion Bros.
Lekker hoor.
Weinig Nederlanders.
Ja.
Überhaupt weinig mensen in deze game. Ja. Mensen.
Goed geluid.
Is dit een hoofdmenu?
Ja.
Is dit een hoofdmenu? Nou, dat was hem weer.
Ja.
Willy Morgan en The Curse of the Bone Town. Met sequel bait voor een volgend deel in Hispaniola. Ja, dat is zijn Pagnola in het Engels. Hispaniola.
Ja, fijn dat je hem uitlegt. Bedankt. Had ik nodig.
Ja. Nou, daarmee eindigt ons avontuur. En dat betekent dat we jullie weer gaan zien in een volgend avontuur.
Ja.
Dus graag weer tot de volgende keer. Joejoe.